Once upon a time, there lived a little boy who did not get along with the other children of the town. They picked on him and bullied him because he was poor and his clothes were rags and he walked around barefoot. Then, one night, as he sat nursing in his newest bruises at the foot of the wooden bridge that crossed the river and led out of town, he heard the approach of a horse and cart along the dark, cobbled street. As it neared, he saw its driver, who was dressed in the darkest of robes, the black hood of which bathed his craggy face in shadow and sent a shiver of fear through the little boy's body. Putting his fear aside, the boy took out the small sandwich that was supposed to be his supper, and just as the cart was about to pass onto and over the bridge, he offered it up to the hooded driver to see if someone would like him. The cart stopped. The driver nodded, got down and sat beside the little boy for a while, sharing the sandwich and discussing this and that. The driver asked the boy why he was barefoot and ragged, and all alone. And as the boy told the driver of his poor, hard life, he eyed the back of the driver's cart. It was piled high with small, empty animal cages, all foul-smelling and dirt-lined. And just as the boy was about to ask what kind of animals it had been, the driver stood up and announced that he had to be on his way. "But before I go," the driver whispered, "because you have been so kindly to an old weary traveller in offering half of your already portions, I would like to give you something now, the worth of which today you might not realise, but one day, when you're a little older, perhaps I think you truly value and thank me for. Now close your eyes." And so the little boy did what he was told, and closed his eyes, and from a secret inner pocket of his robes the driver pulled out a long, sharp and shiny meat cleaver, raised it high in the air and brought it sinking down onto the body's right foot, severely all 5 of his muddy little toes. And as the little boy sat there in a gaping silent shock, staring blankly off into the distance, the driver gathered up his bloody toes, tossed them away to gaggle of the rats that had begun to gather in the gutters, got back in his cart, and quietly rode over the bridge, leaving the boy, the rats, the river and the darkening town of Hamelin far behind him.
I have to fill out this form now. It's a form in case anything bad happens to you in custody. We've got a mistake here with your name. Your surname. Katorian. Yes?
Yes.
See, we've got your first name as Katorian.
My first name is Katerian.
Your first name is Katorian.
Yes.
And your second name is Katorian?
Yes.
Your name is Katorian.
My parents were funny people.
The middle initial?
K.
Your name is Katorian.
Like I said, my parents were funny people.
For funny people, I guess I'd eat. Stupid fucking idiots.
I'm not disagreeing.
Your address is Kamintz 4443.
Yes.
Which you share with...
Michael. My brother.
Ah! Michael! At least it's not fucking Katorian.
He's back with your brother, yeah?
He's not backward. He's slow. He's just slow sometimes.
He's slow to get things sometimes, okay.
Next of kin?
Michael. Next of kin?
Just formalities, Katorian. You know what I mean. Place of work?
The Cayman's Abattoir.
This writer?
It's not so bad.
You like your work there?
No, but it's not so bad.
Cutting up animals.
I don't cut stuff. I just clear stuff.
I see.
That wasn't a form in case anything bad happened to you in custody. I was just mucking around.
What was it?
It was a piece of paper that I was about to tear in two. Here we are. The Little Apple Men.
What about it? It's not one of my best. It's pretty good though.
This is a story. It starts off, there's a little girl and her father treats her badly.
He slaps her around and that.
He represents something, does he?
He represents a bad father. He is a bad father. What do you mean represents?
He is a bad father.
Yes! He slaps a little girl around.
And this is why he's a bad father.
Yes.
What else does he do to the little girl? That he is a bad father.
All the story says, I think, is the father treats the little girl badly. You can draw your own conclusions.
Oh, we can draw our own conclusions now, can we? You're telling us we can draw our own conclusions now, are we?
What?
We know we can draw our own fucking conclusions.
Ariel's getting a bit aggrieved because we can draw our own conclusions because it's sort of our job. And the first conclusion we're drawing is, how many stories have you got? A little girl is treated badly, a little boy is treated badly.
A few. A few.
A few. I'll fucking say a few. The first 20 we picked up was a little girl gets fucked over this way or a little boy gets fucked over that way.
But that isn't saying anything. And I'm not trying to say anything.
You're not what?
What? What are you trying to say? That the children represent something.
I'm trying to say...
That the children represent the people or something.
I'm trying to say he's fucking putting words in my mouth now. I'm trying to say, let alone draw our own conclusions.
Anytime you're ready, Ariel. Oh, I almost forgot to mention. I'm the good cop and he's the bad cop. Now, back to the literature. The father, as we have established, treats the little girl badly. And one day, the little girl gets some apples and carves some little men out of these apples. Little fingers, little eyes, little toes, and she gives them to her father. But she says to him, they're not to be eaten. They're to be kept as a memento of when his only little daughter was young. And naturally, the pig of a father swallows a bunch of these little apple men whole, just to spite her, and they have razor blades in them. And he dies in agony.
And that's like the kind of end of the story. That should be the end of the story. The father gets his comeuppance, and it goes on.
But then it goes on. The little girl wakes up that night. A number of apple men are walking up her chest. They hold her mouth open. They say to her,
You killed our little brothers.
they climb down her throat. She chokes to death on her own blood. The end.